Yes, we also want to send prayers to Ken Agagi. Liz Agagi is a big loyal Link listener. She actually watches the Facebook live stream all the time, and I know her husband's going through some medical issues. So just want to send our prayers out to your hubby Ken, Liz, and thank you so much for watching. Good morning. Let's head into the KUAM News Link Zoom room where Senator James Moylan is standing by. Good morning, Senator.
Hey, good morning, Chris.
How are you this morning?
It's a Friday morning. This week went really by quite quickly.
Yeah,
what
it
are
did.
we on? What week of the month already? Third month of the year.
Yeah, it's the last week of the month.
Yeah, going through Lent and eventually Easter coming up next month.
Fishy Friday, Senator. Don't forget, if you're doing the Lent thing, it's a Fishy Friday.
That's right. So far, the fasting is working out, and I'm looking forward to some good fish. I had some mackerel the other day. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll do that again.
What do you do with your mackerel? I'm curious.
I was at I think it was Sakura Kitchen. I just let them cook it.
Oh, so they do it's like the smoked Japanese style
yes.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really tasty, and you kind of take your time on it, so you don't eat so fast.
Yeah, it's a fishy fish. I know some people like fish. They don't like the fishy fish, which is weird. But anyway.
Yeah.
So how's it been? I wanted to ask you. Hello, you're running for Congress. What's the time? I mean, last time I saw you was at the Guam Election Commission. So what's that? Has it been about a week or so?
Yes, we announced on St. Patrick's Day.
All right.
That was quite exciting. We invited the Republican gubernatorial team, Felix and Tony there, and also former Governor Calvo and the GOP and my friends and my family. I even had my first cousins there. It took some time off to come and be around with me during that time. So
yeah, I saw former Lieutenant Governor Kaleo Moylan. That was I haven't seen him in a minute.
Yes, and that was inspirational for me on how he had his career in office and coming down from his father, of course, Mr. Kurt Moylan, our first elected lieutenant governor, running back then with Felix Camacho.
Are him and our former Lieutenant Governor Kaleo and the former Governor Felix, are they cool now?
Oh, yes,
okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes. We were all in the room together. We all shared a nice meal afterwards as well. So the idea, of course, is the Republican platform. And we're seeing what we see and being heard is that the red is coming down through DC, and we'll see how that goes with our local politics as well. The idea is just to have enough people to enter into the race, like yourself, Chris. Maybe one day we can talk about that. But we really need new ideas to come on out as generations go on. We need the younger generation to be inspired to come in and take office, because at the end, this is what the people have voted for. And if we have more choices, then that's a good thing. So I was looking at myself to be one of those choices as delegate. And, before we made that announcement, I did take a short trip there, had 3 days in DC while they were in session. And this was the time it just kind of worked out. It was the State of the Union address as well. Oh, wow. So Congress building was really busy. And, amazingly, we had appointments with 10 congressional folks, men and ladies. And I had at least 15 to 20 minutes with each of them, and just coming out from the little island of Guam. And I was well prepared. My team, and with the help of Guam Visitors Bureau, we got the Welcome to Guam bag with some Guam chocolates in it and all.
Any cookies?
Yeah. Well, no, I think we just focused on chocolates this time.
Matt, Senator, so I know we're talking the congressional campaign, but I feel like is it going to be a challenge for you to juggle being a senator and then also running for Congress?
Well, I have a bill on session floor today. It regards the ABLES Act, and it helps those with disabilities who qualify for these many programs available to provide assistance in living through funding. What the ABLE Act does, it allows them to open up a separate account that people can put money into the bank, which doesn't affect the folks that are eligible for this, doesn't affect their income level, so they're not penalized on the assistance from the federal government and local government. This has been in law for a couple years now, maybe 3 years in prior administrations, but was not implemented because there were some challenges in the execution on which agency should handle it. 36 states or 34 states already have this going in the mainland. So basically a tax-free account, so those who can receive some additional funding from friends or donations, that can go in the account and it won't affect their income. So we're just making a slight change to that so the administration of it can get done and the agency can start this. So that's one bill. And of course, we know we have several issues with crime, as you reported many times. And what are we doing about it, right? So I have addressed that we came back from DC, we put out five measures. And these are measures that they're not new. We've been discussing this since the 35th Guam legislature. Early on in the year, maybe one of the things many of us can recall was when Dr. Judith Guthers was pulling into her apartment in broad daylight, just getting into her parking stall, and her car was being slashed by someone holding a machete and just going really off. How frightening for the Dr. Guthers, who was a prior DPD chief and prior senator as well, and hoping that this is as her safety of herself and her vehicle will protect her. We're looking at also Senator San Augustine, stand your ground bill as well. This is where our community is coming because we don't feel the safety that our government is supposed to provide. Public safety, public health, public education. Public safety, I think, is the major issue today. We're seeing so many more unfortunate folks on the sidewalks, in the median, asking for money, holding up the cardboard signs, people doing crazy dances on the side of the road as well, families falling apart, murders being committed because of the epidemic. I think we are in a crisis of meth, and I think our government should be there to say we are, and this is what we are going to do. I truly praise the Guam Police Department, the Guam Customs, the Department of Corrections, Department of Justice, but we are not providing the resources that they necessarily need. And we need the leadership to come on down from on top, to be pushed by the Congress building, the people's voice, with measures to get placed into law. If we need to have the judiciary system and our laws stricter, which we introduced for criminal sexual conduct, instead of a maximum of 15 years, we made it 25 years. We're tired of this. The public is tired of this. We come on, Chris, we've been saying this for how long, right? It just goes on and on and on. And if we can't have the right leadership there to enforce it, if the legislature is not doing its due diligence to make the laws that are supposed to do to help and assist these agencies, if we are not providing the federal funds to these agencies ASAP, instead of letting it sit in the bank until I don't know what, God knows when it should be distributed. Why are we doing this when our people are really, really upset? When I had to pull into the parking lot late at night because I forgot to get milk someplace and wondering if I'm safe or how long do I have to do a 360 to ensure there's no suspicious people around me or suspicious vehicles parked next to me either. Why do that? So I'm continuously enforcing and doing my duty as a senator. And I can't just let up because, hey, I want to do something else. That's just wrong. I think we showed the people in the 35th Guam legislature when we said, we're ready with what we had to do. Our situation there, we hit the ground running. We said you can expect more from our team, and you did, right? And then in the next legislature, in the 36th legislature, we said, continue the fight. And that's what I plan to do. So I've dedicated myself to my duty. Kind of lose some sleep. I'm looking at myself on the screen. There's a little bit more wrinkles, but it's okay.
Put aloe vera, Senator. Just put aloe vera.
Yeah. Maybe just put some more sunblock on it so it doesn't get any worse. So.
It's interesting when you talked about you believe that this is a crisis, right? And I thought it was also interesting when you talked about how, like with the stand your ground bill, and I talked about this yesterday. It's like this bill is being given so much life because of the government's failure to protect the public. And so now we have a situation where because the government commitment to keep the public safe, whether or not it's there or it's just slow in coming or slow in the implementation, whatever it may be, the fact is like people don't feel safe. And because we're seeing all this crime and we're not, seeing more officers on the streets today, right? I feel like it's giving life to a lot of this discussion about the stand your ground law.
Yeah,
And we've
absolutely,
had, and
Chris.
Senator, we had like attorneys testify that our self defense laws are pretty good already.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard. I listened to that as well, and that's their duty, right? They need with that voice needs to be heard. But what we can see is the majority voices are not necessarily agreeing totally with what they have to say. They want to protect themselves and their community. Well, the neighborhood watch groups are. There's numerous chats that we're all involved with, and we're hearing different things. We're calling the police. We're waiting for response time. Again, not necessarily the police force issue. It's because of our lack of resources that we're not providing to them. We having the police also stay in their agencies. The peace officers remain within their agencies, like in customs, like in DOC and GPD, DYA as well. Right? There's the discrepancy in pay, which the administration thought they can correct by giving everybody an $18 across the board pay raise. That's all right, but what we're missing is the how do you, if you want to transfer from one agency to the other because of promotional availability, because their next level is $5 more than what your next level is, you're still going to lose those officers too. We didn't solve the problem. We addressed this in the 35th Guam legislature with the PARI bill, using the post commission to evaluate what these discrepancies should be, to come up with their own plan to present to the legislature, to present to the governor. We passed that in the last budget also to give $75,000 to the post commission in order for them to complete the study and submit it. I understood that the administration was going to add an additional $75,000, but I haven't seen that happen, and that the post commission is ready to roll it out. They just need to finalize a few things. Now, where is our priorities, right? We have $50 million over, above and beyond on the CRER report that we're praising ourselves because we're, the income came in greater than what the projected, and because the management of these fundings, we're able to manage at a lower rate. But what are we supposed to do? Make a profit of the taxpayers' money, or are we supposed to use it because we have it? And this should be a priority. Support the post commission so they can get out the funding or the right balance and how it should be, so we can recruit and retain our good citizens of Guam who are hoping to be the new ones to protect our island. The Customs Authority needs a sterilized facility down at Commercial Port, which we had to extend the lease agreement because it hasn't been built in 5 years. So we extended it again. And now we just need the funding. My bill got killed when I wanted 20 million. So I compromised with another bill to say, let's just give them the architectural and engineering payment of close to $2 million, the percentage of the overall cost of this project. So at least they can get that started and turn a shovel and have a ribbon cutting and invite the governor down and anybody else you want to go down. But we need to get these things started. We talked about this too long without taking action. Look at our government situation right now with the amount of money that we have available through the federal funding to get us through this pandemic. With what we have and the jobs that are being created, why are we not focusing on public safety, other than saying we're doing a good job and it has never been better than before? That's fine. Let the public tell you that, but don't let the government tell you what a good job you're doing. It should be the opposite way around. And if you open the newspaper, you can see there's too many orange T-shirts on there, and it's tragic of the loss, especially with children's lives involved. So that's what I'm still, I hope to be successful in my bid for the next level, but in the meantime, I'm busy being a senator.
Yeah, well, what did you hear? Any follow up on that? There was something that came out a couple weeks ago where the administration, they had a meeting with some GPD, I don't know who, retirees about getting retired officers to return to the department for possibly a $10,000 bonus, and
yes. Yeah.
Did you
heard
hear
that? We introduced that in the 35th as well. Glad they're finally making a move. Congratulations. What other bills you want to see? Here's an outline. Take it, use it, do it. Just do something. It's a matter. It's just the administration needs to scream, needs to tell the people of Guam, we got this. Here's what we're going to do. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. and knock it out of the park. You know, the last administration or previous term, they were talking about these fantastic public safety measures. It came to the legislature, it fizzled out. You know, it was worse than my letters going to the governor. It didn't go anywhere. and so what did they have they done in the meantime? Well, we've introduced several as well. And it's just, I'm glad it's difficult because it just makes me want to work a little bit, more harder, right? Expect more, because this is not settling for me, and this is it's not right for the people of Guam either. We had the funding, why aren't we doing it? Let's make this a priority. Let the people feel safe. So not necessarily we need to, stringent laws I think are important for me because like if you go into foreign countries and you do something illegal, you don't want to be hung by your toes, right? But likewise, when you come to Guam, you want to feel safe and you want to know that if you violate any of our rules and regulations, you will get the penalties, the maximum penalties of what our judiciary system is there for, right? So it's okay to increase the penalties. It's okay to increase your police force, and it's okay because it protects our island of Guam.
Thank you, Senator.
You're welcome.
Good luck today in session, and I can tell you're frustrated, but I mean,
I'm still smiling.
You're
Chris,
still smiling.
Still smiling.
You're still smiling. You're still smiling.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, Senator.
I appreciate that. You as well.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
I see you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Senator James Moylan. Yeah, obviously frustrated, right? But I mean, if he's frustrated about some of his ideas not moving forward, I probably think they're going to move even slower now that he's running for Congress. So, hey, it's 7:45, Friday, March 25th, 2022. Good morning. Rosemary LaGuardia comments. All we have seen